Good evening, family and listeners of Women in Ministry. The Lord has granted us again another opportunity to gather under His umbrella and to teach ourselves and edify ourselves in His presence. We thank you for tuning in this evening. Today, the Lord has blessed us with such a wonderful man who will bring to us a wonderful topic. Our topic today is entrepreneurship, and we have no one other than our very own NYG. NYG, it's a man who has seen and have a great experience when it comes to entrepreneurship. He has his own radio stations and has had great experience in building it his own. NYG has three children, is married to a wonderful, beautiful lady. Auntie Tina, I called her. She's such an amazing, amazing woman of God. And today, not to say so much about our very own NYG, this man carries a great unction upon his life. He's a prayer warrior. He's a great man of God. He's a teacher. He preaches. Name it, everything that the Lord will lay on his hands, he will do it exceptionally well. And that is the reason why today, both physically, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically, he has everything, the ability to teach us everything about entrepreneurship. And you would see when I say that you have everything, you take you through it step by step. You give you the confidence and understanding, great education about how to go about it. With this, we thank God for his life. And I won't take too much time, but to hand over to our very own NYG. I do. With the excitement of having you on board, I decided to let you come in. Then I will introduce my dear sister. Amen. Amen. This evening, listeners, we are live on Supreme Praise Radio into your various humble abodes. We're also live on Channel of Mercy, Faith Channel, Facebook, and also on YouTube. And as my our brother said, I'm never alone, and I'm here with my beautiful, wonderful sister.
Eva Tanoyabwa, good evening, dear listeners. We hope you're well. It's such a privilege to come your way again. Today's broadcast is so important because we know that, we are living in difficult times, but the Lord is still doing great things. The Lord is budding seeds. So we find it directional to bring you today's topic on entrepreneurship because we believe that the Lord is creating opportunities for children of God to go into business, to go into creativity, and God is creating wealth. Even though there is a pandemic, God is creating wealth in these times. So please tune in. Please forward the pages on, forward the link on. Let someone hear what we're about to share with you. And this man of God here is a formidable man of God. He knows what he's going to talk about this evening. So please join in and keep your questions flowing. You can reach us on YouTube, or you can text us, WhatsApp us on +44 730 898 0156, and we will surely make sure your questions are answered and your contributions are read out so someone else can be blessed. So please get yourself a cup of tea or something, make yourself comfortable, and let's do this together. We know you will be blessed. Amen.
Amen. Mr. NYG, we hand over to you. We're waiting to be blessed. Yes, we can. Very clear.
Let's look at Second Timothy. Pardon me, I'm just getting my scripture. Okay, so Second Timothy 3:17, it says that the man of God may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. You see, God has furnished every human being, whether big, small, black, white, yellow, tall, short, disabled, not disabled. Every single human being on earth is an entrepreneur. The reason being that as a believer, I would want to, dwell my basis and my foundation on the word of God. That says that God has finished every one of us. And so now you ask yourself, how am I able to do what others are doing and excelling? How am I able to achieve all the goals that I've set for myself? And how am I able to even make it to become successful in life? Bible also makes us understand that when you seek ye the kingdom of God first, all other things will be added unto it. And also he makes us understand in Genesis that he said after the creation of everything, he put man in position to manage the creation he's made, and also to give them dominion over the works of his hands, or over his creation. And so it is unto you as an individual, it is unto you as a person to come to the realization fact that God has finished you and has thoroughly, the Bible says, thoroughly made you perfect. And so when you know and you believe that you have these things installed in you, then now you begin to put on your thinking cap, begin to put on your developing process, and now begin to explore. So let's move on from there and also look at how you are able to explore. You see,
So, Brian YG, just to budge in, you're saying that everyone can be an entrepreneur.
everyone is an entrepreneur. You cannot be, you are. But it is up to you to tap into the warehouse of God. It is up to you to tap into the knowledge and to also tap into the resource God has, furnished you with. Because don't forget, according to the word, he says he made us perfect and fully furnished unto good works. I'll move a little bit from, being a bit spiritual and come to the practical aspect, but I just want to lay a foundation so that I would, progress from there.
Okay, because you just said knowledge and resource.
Yes, I'll come to all that.
Good.
Yes, I'll come to all that. Because knowledge, if we look at King Solomon, this was not part of it, but let me just bring this in as you're saying. When we talk about knowledge, it's acquired fact. According to King Solomon, that we all say that he is a wise king, he's a wise man. Knowledge was described or defined by King Solomon as acquired facts. So you learn and you acquire it, you know that these are facts. But he says that wisdom is the application of the knowledge. So that is why you see somebody will go to school, all right, but that person, excuse me to say, I don't want to say anything else. And that's why sometimes we say it is not everybody who goes to the classroom has common sense. So let's go to the entrepreneurship bit. So now we know that God has blessed us with a lot. But you see, to become an entrepreneurship, when we now look at the worldly definition or the scholar definition of entrepreneurship, it's about taking a risk, starting a business, starting an investment, doing something that involves taking risk and also, investing into something that you will know that there's going to be an outcome to benefit yourself and society. I'm trying not to quote from books because I want to be practical. And so from this angle, now you begin to ask yourself, what am I good at? What is it that I believe within myself that I can do? Is it that I am good in cooking? Is it that I'm a good gossiper? Is it that I am a good liar? Is it that I am good in mathematics? So when you begin to sit down and ask yourself all these questions, and you begin to find, listen, there is no person in this world who is a waste. And I say that with all authority because it is only when you decide not to use that which God has blessed you with, then you make it a waste. So when you begin to ask yourself questions, what can I do? What am I good at? How am I able to turn this into that? Then now you are thinking creativity. Because an entrepreneur is somebody who is creative. You are going to make something out of nothing. And if even you are making something out of something, it means you are creating something out of another thing. Next point is that as an entrepreneur, you should always be processing things in your head, because you can only progress when you are always thinking. You cannot think today and leave the rest for tomorrow. Oh, I thought of doing this business. The idea came, and so I started it, and that is it. You are stuck. You're not adding anything to it. So, to just give a general overview, I would say that an entrepreneur, from my perspective, is somebody who knows the God-given blessings in him or her and is able to process that, is able to develop that, and is also able to discover these three things. Then you can stand out and now say, I am ready to take that risk. I'm ready to go out there and invest and develop. Now, let's also look at some of the attributes that as an entrepreneur you should have. You should have the ability to take risk. I mentioned that earlier on. You should have the ability to be creative. You should be a visionary. You should be somebody who is able to visualize whatever you want to do in your mind's eye. Whatever you want to do, it should first be visualized. You should have the picture of that thing at the back of your mind. Because if you are not able to, put a framework or to put a structure of what you want to do in your mind, there's no way you'll be able to explain to somebody or tell somebody and they'll be able to grab the concept. Unless you first know what you are doing, or you first know the framework of what you are about to do at the back of your mind. Then the last one that I will talk about is you should be somebody who is open. You should be open in the sense that you should be willing and ready to go far and wide. You are not monotype. You should be open in the sense that, well, I've realized that I can do A, but then I don't have what it takes. I don't have the capacity. Okay, am I able to channel the knowledge and the wisdom I have from A into developing B? So you should be open, not to be stuck to one idea and always be close up. All right, so with these two definitions, I believe that we are good to go and we are ready to delve a little bit deep, which I'm going to be much more practical. I know that whatever I'm saying now might sound a bit, not the usual, but I mentioned earlier on that today we want to take entrepreneurship from a more practical and a more realistic angle. And so whatever by God's grace I'm sharing with you this evening, it's the very fundamental concept and the understanding of who an entrepreneur is, what are available to you as a person or as an individual. And when you understand all this, then you know that when you step out there, you are not restricted. You are not looking at, well, can I do it? Am I able to do this? Has anybody tried this before? The last time I checked, the person who tried this failed. But you do not have all those things at the back of your mind, because you know that, one, you are fully furnished by God. Two, you are made perfect unto good works. So even when you think that all is not going well, you still believe that because of his word, because of his promise, yes, you can do all things through Christ. Amen.
I have a question.
Okay.
You know, you said that to be an entrepreneur, you must be creative. You must look at what you're good at, and then let that channel you into whatever business or idea you want to start. But someone may ask, does what I want to start have to be the first thing on the market? Or can I start a variant of what's already on the market? So if someone is doing something, can I start something similar to what someone is doing? Must it be an original idea? Do I have to reinvent the wheel, something that someone is not doing? What would you say about that?
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very good question. What you need to consider as an entrepreneur is, one, you need to consider what you are good at, as you rightly said. And then after you found out that, okay, this is what I'm good at, this is what I want to do, there are certain essential elements that you need. And the very first one is ideas. You need to have an idea of that which you are good at. Sometimes it might just make you like, I know how to cook. When I cook at home, I'm the best. But believe you me, somebody might taste it out there and be like, you are your own home champion, because you haven't gone out yet. So even though you still you have what it takes, and you believe that you know this, you should still have more ideas. Number two, you need to have knowledge. And let me differentiate between the two. The idea is, yes, you know how to cook, but then when you go out there and you're cooking, maybe the only difference and the hallmark you will make is the fact that, well, I'll cook it all right, but then when I'm dishing it out, or how I will present it, your packaging, those are the ideas you need to have in addition to the resource you have already. Number two, knowledge. You need to have a deeper insight into what you are doing. I want to become a businessman. Yes. But what sort of business do you want to do? Is it a small business? A big business? Do I want to go into partnership? Do I want to go into production? Do I want to go into retailing? Do I even want to go into sales? So all are those things you need to factor and also consider. Number three, you need, most importantly, research. Like you said, and that addresses the question. Somebody is doing what I am doing or what I want to do in the same area. Maybe I can come up with a variant. Yes, that will be an extra plus. But the point is, research into what that person is doing. How long has that person been in that? What are some of the wish of the customers of that person? Even though everybody is going there to buy, probably for all you know, that is the only option they have. Maybe they are going there because of something unique that person is adding to the service he or she is, offering. So you need to also research and find out what that person is doing to drive the market, what can be done in addition to what the person is doing or the already market going on to also be a head starter. What is it that customers or clients are not satisfied about that particular business, but yet they still go there because that is the option they have? So when you research into all these things, you realize that by the time you come up, you are not only driving the market, but you are giving customer satisfaction as an entrepreneur. Because bear in mind, everybody goes out there to look for solutions. Nobody wants to go out there and get, let's say, talk, questions, ideas, and then what next? As human nature as we are made such that we always look at end results. And you and I will judge everybody by their end results. So having the idea and somebody doing exactly what you want to do should not stop you from venting into that business. But yet, what you need to do most importantly is have an extra idea, extra knowledge, do your research, and then you should have what it takes to invest into that business. So what it takes, it could be financial, it could be labor, it could be resources, all those things come into play. So you should, be well prepared. I always say that, trying to go into business is not as difficult as being in the business. You can get money, or you can get something and order a few things online and then put it on your status. Shoes for sale, mobile phones for sale. You've started business. But how to manage and maintain it, that is the most important thing. Because bear in mind, like you rightly said, because of how the world is now, most people are now looking at opportunities, how they can make extra money staying at home. So I believe that the next point I'm going on is how to start your business. Unless maybe there's a question you want to ask, then I can.
Yes, Brother YG.
Yes.
Just to emphasize a bit on Sister Ava's question about if somebody had already got something out there, and as let me say, a young entrepreneur who wants to do something. Being an entrepreneurship, from my understand, is you could come up with something totally new that is not in the market, something that no one knows about it, that is part of your talent or your knowledge. And then with skill, you develop it to become something that is out of your own. It's not there. You have brought it out there. On the other hand, I also believe that an entrepreneurship, somebody can also become an entrepreneur by taking something that is out there already, and with the skills and knowledge, and as you said, with deeper research, knowing what you want to do, turn something that's already in an existence to be much better. If you do say marketing or business, you call something core products to a core customer. So you might have a pen out there, a pencil. Let me use a pen as an example. For many years, you would write with a pen and you could not erase what you've written. But recently, somebody has developed a pen that you can write, you make a mistake, and you can erase it with the rubber that comes with the pen. So pen existed for many years, but somebody sat down and thought, can I not do something different with this product that is out there already?
Okay.
So the product that it was out there already as a pen, somebody added a skill to it and knowledge to it. And this comes as an opportunity, and also for you to be fearless. Believe that with God, I can do all things. Take something that's already in existence and make something unusual about it. And then take that market. That too is available, and it's an opportunity that can be explored by young individuals who want to be an entrepreneurship.
Thank you very much. Can I talk?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's a point well made, and it's a very good example you've given. And if you followed closely with my explanation just before this one, I made mention that even though someone has started something out there, you should have an idea and knowledge. And it all comes down to the explanation I gave about customer satisfaction. What is it about that service the person is giving that you would want an extra one? I believe that you and I, growing up, we all wrote with pen. And there were times that you would make a mistake in your writing or in your essay or your presentation, and because of that one little mistake, you would have to cross your whole work or probably tear the page and start because you don't want errors in it. So that is why I said earlier on that before you start, and that one unique thing that will make you competitive is the fact that think about what service is already there. Find out what is that person delivering that you can do an extra more. What is it that we all, as I mentioned earlier, I said sometimes you don't have a choice. You have to just go to that service, and it's just like the pen. At the point till when the pen eraser came, we didn't have a choice. I remember the very first time my daughter was writing, and then she made a mistake. I said she should cross it, and I noted that she was trying to erase it, and I said, why are you trying to erase it? Because you might damage the paper. He says, no, Daddy, look, this is a pen eraser. And I was stunned there. She just rubbed it as if it was pencil being, rubbed. Everything was just gone. And I said to myself, wow, I never knew about this. It was just recently that I got to, know something about it. So somebody has sat down realizing that, well, I am not happy the fact that anytime I make a mistake, I have no option than to cross it. But how can I make somebody happy? Instead of crossing your work with so many crosses and then your work does not look presentable, I will think of a way. So that is when your creativity comes in. That is when ideas come in. That is when knowledge comes in. And that is when research comes in. From this angle, I believe the inventor probably might have found out how can you write with a pencil and erase. So if a pencil has an eraser, then a pen should be able to also erase. So you see, that's why I said every human being born by a woman, created by God, is an entrepreneur. Because as long as you're able to think and put yourself out there to the task, to the challenge, researching, having ideas and knowledge, there's nothing you cannot do. That is one secret. And now let me move deeply into, practical examples. Let's say now we are all faced with the challenge of most of us being at home. And then some people have to even work from home. Some people currently are not so sure whether they will be still going back to work or not. But what can you do? What are you going to do? Well, if you think you don't have any skill, if you think you don't have any knowledge, If you think, well, I'm struggling to even come up with one thing that I want to do, the first thing I would want to indulge you or exhort you to do is the fact that, one, pray about it. Is it the will of God for you to start a business? In as much as we are all entrepreneurs, maybe yours might not be starting a business. Yours may be a counselor. Yours might even be you being a consultant. And I believe that someone will be asking, counselor, consultant, are they entrepreneurs? Yes. You go to see somebody and that person has already, got the idea of what you are looking for in his or her head. That person will transfer that knowledge to you and you will go and develop it. That is why even in business, we have project managers, we have, consultants, we have advisors, and in banking, there's something they call, in banking, there's something that they call auditors. All those people come up in the building of a good entrepreneur. Because one, you will need each and every one in your research process, in your ideas, in your knowledge, and also in your backup. Your backup is very important because that is where your labor comes in, your finances come in, your resources come in, and all the needed materials that you will need to start a business. Okay, so now let me give a practical example. I am home now. I'm thinking of what can I do. I have tried thinking, but nothing seems to work. One, pray to God about it. And after praying to God, I believe that one or few thoughts will come into your mind. Put it on paper. And then begin to ask yourself, how much knowledge do I have about starting a business? Maybe you want to do buy and sell. First and foremost, ask yourself, if I want to do buy and sell, how much money do I have to invest? Number two, do I even have the time to do buying and selling? Number three, you need to ask yourself, what is the fastest selling commodity out there? Number four, you need to also ask yourself, how do I get these resources, or how do I get these materials or raw materials to start selling? So you need to look at your source, you need to look at competition, you need to look at the pricing. Okay, so am I buying direct from the warehouse or the wholesale, or I'm going to, retail? You need to put all those things together. After you have done all these things, the most important thing that you need to look at next is packaging. I always tell a few people that I come across is that, listen, don't just go carry it as it is from the manufacturer and go and sell it. Because if that is the case, then everybody can just go to the wholesale and buy it at a discount. But when you want to sell and sell well, look at packages, look at discounts, look at opportunities where you can take the product and then you will not give it to the buyer or the customer direct, but then you can add just a little touch to it. That little touch you can add to it could be the packaging, the delivery, the postage, or even it can just be your customer service. That alone will put you on a different pedal. It will make you unique than the others, because we customers, we always look out for petty things. Now let's move away from buying and selling. You want to start your own business. Are you starting a business which is a large scale business or a small business, or maybe you are just doing an enterprise? What you need, most important, to start your own business is the ability to manage. If you know you cannot manage what you are going to start, then please be very careful. Because it is one thing starting the business, making some money, and then letting the business go. Because as long as the business is growing, or as long as you are doing well in entrepreneurship, one, we said that it has the ability to take risk, be creative, be innovative, be a visionary. And also you should know that starting a business, you will need management. Even if it is a sole trader, or even if you're just doing buy selling, you're going around to sell, you will still need managing skills. Not all your customers will be nice. There are some who will look for the extra bargain. There are some who will provoke you. There are some who, the way they will even talk to you will sound as if they are doing you a favor. But you know what you want. And even aside that, if it's a business that you have to employ people, how do you manage your labor? Because you might be putting in every needed resource to get to the top, but the ones on the ground, the people who are out there delivering the service, how are they going about it? So you also need management. Now, after you've got all this, one thing you should also realize is the fact that when you have put all this together, you need to be very, very careful about how you manage this whole team. Because without good management, everything that you put out there can just come down collapsing. And so management is also very important. Now,
and I guess we need to hammer in personal time management skills and stuff like that.
yes.
As well as discipline, self-discipline, to turn up on time at your business place, not taking holidays when it's not necessary, management of the finance, to be disciplined, not just as you get the profits you start spending, but to reinvest into the business and make sure that it grows to a certain point before all these luxury spendings and holidays sets in. I think discipline should also be in here.
Yes, that is also very important. Thank you very much, my sister, for adding. Thank you. Okay, so now let's move on from there and look at various forms of entrepreneurship. So we can look at an entrepreneur as another form of entrepreneurship as, well, you have everything it takes. I want to invest into real estate. I want to invest into selling commodities. I want to invest into selling of cars. I want to, be an entrepreneur whereby I develop products. Maybe let's say shoes, bags, cements, and all those things. Before you do that, ask yourself, how passionate am I about what I want to do? What I am investing in. Am I going into this investment because, well, I feel that is what is selling fast now. I feel that is what people are making the most money out of it. So I want to look at that aspect of entrepreneurship or investment. You should have a passion about what you want to invest in. Number two, I have these three things that I always say, that if you're able to discover what you are passionate about and you're able to develop it, then you'll be able to transform that thing or that commodity or that product into something which is going to be self-gaining and also be of essence to society. So, one, discover what you want to do by identifying your passion. Maybe you are good in talking. Maybe you are good in cooking. Now there are challenges out there. Ask yourself, do people really need food, especially now that everybody is at home? All, mothers, wives, and everybody's, even these days, men, everybody's cooking. So my passion is cooking. Do I venture into cooking, and is it going to sell? Yes, you can venture into cooking. It's going to sell. Don't forget that it is not everybody who will cook what they would want or they would like at home. Some people have missed those opportunities of going out, sitting out, and eating out and all that. So there's one unique thing that these are not commonly made foods at home all the time. So can I, if I have the passion for cooking and I have a knowledge into cooking this specific, or let's say this particular food, can I cook it, present it, brand it, package it, and then sell it out there? Not too expensive, but to the point where the one who needs that or the one who wants to eat that food will come and buy it at all cost, regardless of where my location is or how much I'm selling it. The reason being that, let's say it's a local dish that most of the time people go out to buy on a Friday or on a weekend. And so that these particular foods, everybody will like to eat it. All right, so I will prepare it, but first and foremost, you need to find out that how many people are ready and willing to buy this food, so that you wouldn't prepare it and then this food will go waste. How many people are willing and prepared to buy it? Do I need to do samples? How am I even able to advertise what I'm going to do? How am I able to send this across? How do I reach out to people to be able to patronize what I am about to do? So that is when you need to take advantage of, today, by the grace of God, social media is all there. There are status that you can, post and put everything that you want to display out there. So you begin to use your media, the platforms on which you are. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, and all those pages available today. So what I would encourage somebody to do is that begin to do those things self-wise from home. You can bake some meat pies, you can bake some cakes, you can, do some, some bankung. I'm saying all these things because of where I am coming from. You can do all those things and then display them nicely on your status. People will begin to comment about it. People will begin to see. And then you do not start first and foremost by saying, come and buy, or just put them there, because you need to test the market. You cannot just do it and then start display food for sale, contact me for this. No. Begin by testing the market. See the reaction. See how many people will comment on what they've just seen. If you get the responses, then you know that, there's a good demand out there. 2, anybody who responds to it, then you ask the person, are you happy to buy this at this cost, or would you buy this at this cost? You see, so these are all basic things that adds up to the idea aspect. You are now tapping into the minds of the customers. Somebody will ask you, did you make this yourself? Did you buy it? Where can I get some? Then you put all those things together, because sometimes it might just be, compliments, but they are not ready to buy.
That's true.
Yes. So first and foremost, test the market. Find out what the response of the people out there will be. And then after you've gotten that, now you need to process that. So you begin to tell them, Sister Eva, if you should get this food for £5, would you be happy to buy it? And then Sister Eva will say, oh, but this one, I can even do it myself at home, so why should I buy it for £5? It is not a bad comment. It is the very best of comments you can get, because now you know that either you are overpricing or the person is not ready to buy it at £5. That doesn't mean that if you give it to the person for free, the person won't eat it. But maybe the £5 is what is putting the person off. So then maybe another person, then you say, Minister Audrey, if you should get opportunity to order this food online and it will be delivered to your house, are you happy to order it and try it? Then Minister Audrey will say, by the time this food will get to my house, it's cold and probably it might be soggy. So why? So it is not a bad comment as well. Now one, pricing. Two, the person or the customer. Don't forget that earlier on we spoke about what is it that they are getting out there that they are not happy, but they don't complain. The advantage you have now is the fact that you are getting the direct customer feedback. So then you say, okay, so how about you get this food freshly made, chips, crispy, and delivered to your house, not as soggy as you think, and it's as fresh as you are at the restaurant. Oh, really? Why not? I would love to have a taste. Maybe that is what Minister Audrey will say.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So you see, now you are doing what you would have been out there doing by first and foremost testing the market, now doing that customer feedback, and how do you call it? They have a way of saying it. You see people standing by the roadsides and having papers, and then they ask questionnaires, and
Survey.
then exactly. So first and foremost, use your social media, use your platforms, test the market. And then after you've gathered all these informations, then maybe you can also ask another person who say, where did you buy it? Then you can ask the person, well, are you happy to buy it even if it's a bit far from you? Then the person will go ahead and say, where? Let me see if possible. So that way, the person is also thinking of delivery. So now how quick am I able to deliver this if I have to prepare it? So these are all the minor things you need to put in first. Then after you've gathered all this information, you sit back and say, okay, wow, based on the information I have, am I able to do the demand of Sister Audrey, crepesy chips? Am I able to satisfy Sister Eva? She wants it lesser than £5. Am I able to deliver it on time? When you sit down and look at all these boxes and you take it, then the next stage is where you begin to implement it. So now you do a package, put all these things together, make sure it is crepesy, it is well packaged, nicely done, and then you say, Minister Audrey, the food the other day I was telling you about, I have ordered one, so they are bringing it to your house. You see, you haven't even made mention of money. Sister Eva, the food the other day I posted on my status, I have ordered one for you and it's heading to your house. Let them eat it. And after they've tasted the food, I know for sure Minister Audrey will say, can I get an extra plate? Then you will say, oh, you can have it for probably maybe £3.50. Yes.
Definitely.
But in the meantime, Minister Audrey, were you happy with it? Was it okay? Oh, it was so amazing. So are you able to recommend that to a friend? Oh, why not? Can you share that on your status and make a comment on it? So now
you create an opportunity for sale.
Exactly. So now you have one review, because don't forget that people would love to read reviews before they buy. So now Minister Audrey is posting that on her status, and probably I will ask that when you are eating and you are halfway, please take a photo and put that too on your status. So now you are creating the market. And don't forget that a recommended brand does 90% well than you starting your own recommendation. Because if I should post it and say food for sale, my new business, this, nobody has tasted it before. And how am I able to convince you that it is what you are expecting? But Minister Audrey says, I bought this food, or I had this food delivered on time, crispy, very nice, and it's so amazing for £5. The person who is viewing her status would not know that she had it for free. But the other day I saw on Minister Audrey's status this roasted tilapia, and it was looking so nice, and she said it was for £5. Minister Audrey, where did you buy that food? Then you begin to develop it from there. But this does not apply to all businesses, because if you are doing a financial business or you are a loan company, you can't say that you are giving people loans for test. So depending on the business you are venturing into, you need to do a thorough research and a thorough map out plan as to how you will first develop it, test your market, and then see what exactly the people out there are looking for. If you're a loan company, and in these times that people are so much pressed with money, nobody would want to, if I'm already in debt, I wouldn't want to go and borrow and also pay interest. Where if I have money to pay interest, then I'll probably use it than borrowing. But you can say that, okay, fine, there's a scheme that will help you. This scheme is such that the normal banks will maybe give you let's say 12%, but this one is if you are able to pay within a specific period of time, then it is 0%. You understand? Find somebody whom you can trust, and most importantly, you don't go that approach and telling the person that it is you. I can recommend somebody for you to speak to, as long as you are not going to disappoint me. So I will tell you, okay, Sister Audrey, please call this person. I have spoken to the person, and then please make sure you don't. So the person will gives you the person gives you the terms and conditions, and then ask you to bring a guarantor. So I say, okay, if you need one, I'll be happy to guarantee for you. Then I guarantee for you, and then you go take it, maybe a short term something. But in this case, if you are given 12 months, why don't you do yours maybe 14 months? That alone gives the person a sense of relief that if even I don't meet the 12 months, I still have 4 extra months on top. I can still make something out of it. You get it? So then that sense of relief will put the person in a position that, okay, you know what, let me go for it. I know my salary will come at this time. And so if even you are doing it on a monthly basis, you can say, well, it is a 40-day process, knowing that the person will take their salary maybe at the end of the month after 30 days or 21 days. Then the person has 10 extra days. So it wouldn't be like the fear of, well, as long as I take my salary, all the money is gone. So there are ways that you can, develop, and it's all about having creative ideas. But don't forget that we said from the beginning is that entrepreneurship is taking a risk. So it can backfire or it can go well. But what if this person takes the loan and never shows up? This person takes the loan and is not able to pay. Those are the risk factors involved in entrepreneurship. So 1, you need to have a backup. 2, you need to have a contingency. And 3, you should be ready to accept, admit, and move on from, yes, this was a mistake, but that is not going to stop me from going on what I need to do. I don't know if at this point there's any question that I can answer.
Brother Edward, what I wanted to ask was, when do you step out? I mean, if I have my original idea, I've thought about what I want to do, what I want to put out there in the market, and I think I'm ready to do this. I've taken time, thoroughly, done my research, but I know that timing is very important as to, when you do things. So when would be the right time? But now looking at the time, we've got over our time already. So I don't know whether we should shift this into our next segment, because I think our listeners would want to know the right time to step out, the right time to launch their business idea, the right time. I mean, if you are employed and you want to start a business, on your own, you feel you're being led, you're passionate about, something else, when is the right time to make that transition? So, but
Okay.
I think we have to package this into another program. Otherwise, I know there's a program right after Women in Ministry this evening, so we might create a backlog. So viewers, please bear with us. It's been an awesome evening. Brian Wise, you've given us an awesome exposition, into how to get ready and how to get your foot out. Minister Audrey, what do you think?
I agree with that. There's so much Brother NYG have, and we need him to give us everything. We need everything out of him. So we would have to move it to a next program so we can benefit fully.
Also, Brother NYG, we love you so much. Aren't we blessed to have you?
Indeed, we are.
We bless God. I don't
I
know if I
loved
can.
it, Brother NYG, when you said that everyone is an entrepreneur, but you need 1 or 2 things to step out there. So, people who are listening to us today, you don't have a limit. There's no limitations on you. You are born to do so. As the Bible verse says, that we are all furnished to do something. What you need is to find that passion, as Brother NYG said. When you find that passion, do your research, find knowledge about what you want to do, and then with skills, step out there. It's possible to do it. You listen to him at the end. He said that there's certain things you need in place is to make sure that you are ready. I love that. Said you are ready to move on and start again if it doesn't work, to say that, yes, this did not work, but it's not going to put me down. I will go again. I will start again. Because a fall doesn't mean there's an end. It means the start again, an opportunity to start again. And to
Exactly.
bear in mind that there is always something to do once you get up. So you don't need to lie flat because you've fallen. Get up, rise up, and do it again. Brother NYG, it was a blessing listening to you. We
Amen.
need more of
Let me
this.
just add something to the very ending comment you made. You see, if you look at Philippians 1 verse 6, it says that, and I am certain that God, who began the good work within me, will continue his work
Surely.
until it's finally finished. You see, so I believe that if everybody is telling you about their falls in business, you will be amazed. But it is those who make the mistake, because for all you know, when I gave the illustration of, you know, using your social media to test the market, to do all the survey, maybe that person did not do it. So when you fall at that time, it is an opportunity to come back and now review all that you did. Find out which ones that really caused your fall. Then now go back there again. That is when you are not a failure. But when you fall and you let it go, the only story you can tell is, well, I started some business, but then it failed. Then you are a failure. And I don't know if I can answer Sister Eva's question, the one she asked about timing.
Yes, please.
Okay. So Sister Eva, after with what you asked, I want to believe that you've ticked all the boxes, you've done all your research, your review, your learning, your knowledge based and everything. Then what I will say is that the timing for you to start is the right location. It is not just it is time. Maybe the business you have, the idea you have, everything will work out perfect when you are in a different location. So time and location matters most, because in my previous example I gave the fact that, would you be happy to buy this if it is coming from a distance? Location, in the sense that you need to find out the service I'm about to render within my locality. Would it drive that market force, or people will be coming from afar to patronize my service? Then you look at the distance. So possibly, if you're looking at something which is driving force from all over the place, from distance and far, do not position yourself in your comfort zone. Strategically position yourself whereby we will all have to do a sacrifice. We will all have to do a sacrifice in the sense that, look at how convenient it will be for you if you are able to meet the demand of your customers. Maybe you would have to do a little travel, but factor that into your cost and see that if I am at point B and I'm able to drive about 300 sales a day, but I move a little bit further to point B2 and I'm able to make about 700 a day, and I'm not going to spend more than a break even, why not? You can go there, start it, and then that will be an opportunity for you to branch as well. Because as that is established, you've made a name, you've made a brand. Now you can start another one at your personal location. Because don't forget that when the people who travel from your location to the other point realize that they have that same brand to purchase and they do not have to travel, now they will be coming to you. At the same time, you have another market resource somewhere. I'm saying this because somebody might be listening to us and might be abroad or might not be in the United Kingdom, and you want to do some business. You can actually buy things, package them from here. Now it's even very easy to do door-to-door delivery. And you can send them away to Africa. You can send them abroad to Europe. You can send them to America. And you'll be doing your business. You can be here and you have an idea of maybe going into real estates. The idea, the timing, the money and everything is here, but then the business is far somewhere abroad. You can be selling cars, you can be selling products, and might not be at your physical location. So the time to start, Sister Eva, if I have to answer your question, is if your location is right, then you start straight away.
Brian, thank you very much. Yes, you've answered part of the question.
Okay, so
you've answered part.
Can
of
you
the
bring
question.
the other part, please?
Yes, the other part was I said that if someone works 9 to 5 and they have a vision of starting their own business, how do they make that transition from their employment to their own business? How do they make that transition?
Okay,
that's why I said that I think maybe we should discuss it in the subsequent program, because
okay.
You get what I mean?
I can just touch a little base. I can just touch a little base on it, and then we leave it for a deeper discussion the next time.
Yes, because a lot of the time, you meet a friend here and there, and they talk about what they are doing on the side and what they would like to do had it not been for their main job. And a lot of the time, because of youthfulness and from where we're coming from, parental direction, sometimes you end up in a career where you really don't want to be in. Someone may be a medical doctor. The last time I was watching a program on TV, and the gentleman was a medical doctor, but he quit because he said he had to do it for his parents. He was not happy, and now he's doing a course on interior designing because that's what makes him happy. So sometimes it's how to transfer from what you're doing to what you're passionate about.
It is very true what you're saying, and as I said, I'll just touch a little bit on it because this is a whole new discussion which involves a lot of insight. Because even if you are making 3 times of what you are earning from your 9 to 5, that does not guarantee you that you stop immediately and start it. What if it crashes at some point in time? Or probably because you are doing it on the side is running well, maybe now you go into it full time and you realize that, wow, it's not as I thought. So what I would say is, before you leave your 9 to 5 and start something or go into something that you are passionate about or you are doing and you are earning more, there are 3 things that you need to look out for. And the very first one is, how sustainable is what you are venturing into? Maybe you are good at doing it on a part-time. As you rightly said, it has become a norm. Even you meet directors of companies and at the back of their booths, they are selling maybe ladies' handbags, perfumes, everybody is doing something on the side. And, it is amazing when you get to find out that they are not solely depending on their 9 to 5 salary, but then there's an extra drive or edge for something more. So it depends. One, is this something that you are really happy about doing? Or you are doing that on the side because of extra income? Those are two things. If you are doing that for extra income, then it's a different issue. If you're going into it because this is what I do and I have a smile on my face, I go out there and I do deco for somebody's wedding and I sit down and I look at everything and I begin to be happy. So it's about what you do that makes you happy, what you love to do, and also we look at the financial aspect, because bear in mind, it depends on the financial need of the person. But if we should look at it from an entrepreneurial angle, then I would say, if you have something doing already and you're going to, or you have something doing and then there's something on the side and you want to switch, let the transition be gradual. Do not switch automatically, because there might be times where demand and also the request for your service might maybe go a little bit down or up. Consider all those factors. How is the regular inflow of that new business you're doing on the side going to come in? Because bear in mind, because you're doing it on a part-time basis, you are doing it per your strength, and it's on a part-time. So if I have, let's say, 50 sales a weekend, 40 a weekend, it is good for me, because that is a plus. But when I have stopped what I'm doing and the 40 is coming in, is it sustainable? Can that take me through? And there are instances whereby you might be even making much more, about twice or three times of what you are already doing. Then you ask yourself, should I leave now because I see that I'm making more? But the point is, if it is a casual thing you're doing, maybe an irregular thing you're doing, you ask yourself, what do I do extra with the time left? Because it might not be where you'll be sitting in the office from 9 to 5. So if I'm moving into this, what do I do with the time left? Am I still going to do something on the side, or I'm going full time into that? And it basically depends on what you are doing. But what I would say is the transition should not just be a straight one. It should be a gradual process. Sometimes you can even decide to take, some days off, or, go on some weeks off from work, just to do the test process and see, like the scenario of the status. You take some weeks off, you go about trying to do it as if you're doing it full time for like 2 weeks or a week, and see. After you come back, ask yourself, am I willing to go in as in like this will be the new phase of my day-to-day activity? Am I happy to be moving around into people's home, barging into people, talking to people, and all that? So it has to be a gradual process. But yes, I believe so much in, having something on your own. That is my personal belief. I believe that there's nothing best like, doing what you are so happy in doing, or something that you are very passionate about. So I know I've just touched a little bit on it, but there's a more deeper explanation to give, and I can take it one from each side, maybe on the next request.
Thank you so much, Brian YG. God richly bless you for this insight, rich insight, I must say, that you have given us on entrepreneurship and the attributes of whoever wants to start a business, to be a progressive thinker, and to be able to take reasonable risk. You did mention that not everyone who who is very educated, is a good business person. And I think I think that there might be some truth in it, because sometimes too much book knowledge makes one risk averse, because you see so much of the risk, and you don't want to take that leap. But you said that
There are
God has
people
given.
who have not had the opportunity to have education, but they are so gifted that they've started business. They are now employing graduates to work for them.
Yes, yes, and
So
it's
as
that.
just to inspire people that don't look at the fact that I don't have a master's degree, I don't have the PhDs, I don't have this. As long as I mentioned earlier on that, God has fully finished us and made us perfect. It is about seeking God for wisdom.
Yes, yes, and and to be a visionary, to be able to visualize what you have to offer to yourself,
Exactly.
so that you can be able to sell it to someone. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't understand your own vision, I'm sorry, you might not get anyone buying into that vision if you
Exactly.
don't understand your own vision. So this gives us a lot to think about this week, dear listener, women in ministry. It gives us a lot to think about, because God has given us all these desires for a purpose. Okay, if you like to do crafts, think of the way forward. Do you just do it with your children? Is there an opportunity out there for you to sell some of the craft you're making? If you like to cook, is there an opportunity for you to cook for your neighborhood? Trust me, during this lockdown, I craved some dishes that, I couldn't be bothered to cook, but there was no one selling them around. Otherwise, I would have ordered some. But these are all opportunities for us to make wealth, to create wealth within our communities, and the Lord will help us. A massive thank you to you, Brian YG. God richly bless you. For speaking to us today, for taking time out of your very busy schedule. We know you are a busy man and you don't like to be in the forefront, but thank you that today
Well,
you come out to speak to
you
us.
managed to do this.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Beloved brother, NYG is the CEO of Gospel Exclusive, and Gospel Exclusive is the parent company of Supreme Praise Radio, Faith Channel Radio, NYG Podcasts. I think there's one more. I think there's a clothing
NYG
branding
Innovations.
arm
Yes,
as
there's
well.
Purple Box, that's the clothing line, and then
Purple
we have
Box,
the
yes,
NYG Innovations.
yes. And brother NYG is into sound engineering as well. So if you're a church or any organization that needs your sound fixed, or your gadgets engineered into your institution, let him know he's the right person to speak to. And what a blessing! What a blessing! To God be the glory for putting all these talents in one person, and who is using it to advance the kingdom. God bless you so much, Brian YG.
Thank you very much. And I believe that if I am able to get the opportunity again, there's something that I want to share the next time that is.
Definitely, we'll be happy to have you here
Yes.
again.
There are
Definitely.
probably some few tips I would want to share about some of the businesses that are doing well now, or specific business or ventures that it will be very helpful, especially within these times of lockdown, that when you venture into it, I mean, it's a surety you will not regret going into. But the most important thing is how to use them, how to start it, where exactly to go, who to contact, how to advertise, all that. And these are all things you can do for free. You don't really need anything. You don't really need a lot to start. And there's actually an opportunity out there to start a company or a business from discovery to developmental and also to sales, all for free, that you can get every single resource you need out there to do all these things for free. All you need to do is just go online, do research, and I'll be happy to share some of these sites as well. I know I was much particular about the very core foundations of entrepreneurship, but maybe the next time we'll look at specific businesses where you can start and how you can start. If there's time, we'll be able to discuss how you can start, what are the resources you can get for free out there, step-by-step guidance as to starting your own business.
Thank you so much. That would be really, really helpful. And dear listener, this is business advice for free. You don't need to pay consultation fee to anyone. Just tune
maybe
in,
to the women in ministry
and get an idea to run with. Okay, just tune in. Our next live broadcast is on Sunday, 28th March. Please don't miss this. Make a date with us. Pen it in your diary now. Put it in your phone. So the last Sunday of March, 28th March, will be our next live broadcast, and we'll do the second segment on entrepreneurship. So please make a date with us. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. Have a blessed week. May the face of the Lord shine upon you. Please listen to this broadcast again on YouTube, on Facebook, and share it. Pass it on to someone and let it be a blessing. And speak to us as well. You can message us. Let's know what God is using these programs to do in your life. Encourage us. Amen. To God be the glory. Minister Audrey, final words?
We thank God and thank you so much, Brother NYG. What a blessing to have you this evening. And listening to you was such a great opportunity to have so much insight, as Sister Eva said, deep and rich insight of entrepreneurship. We so much looking forward to hear you again on our next broadcast. The Lord bless you. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in and staying tuned to listening to such a wonderful man of God that the Lord brought our way this evening. So until we meet again, the Lord bless you, guide you, and protect you.
Yes. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Radio, your cosmopolitan Christian radio station. Supreme Praise Radio, your cosmopolitan Christian radio station.